Something I've grown out of lately, well, sort of two things, is one, seeking out and chasing down inspiration, and then two, when I do find myself inspired and charged up, thinking that I have to do something with the inspiration or that it has to have some sort of physical outcome. I've learned that the things that want to be channeled will be and will develop themselves into these full pieces or bodies of work that they want to be, as long as you relax and allow the ideas to grow and develop themselves. I've gotten a lot of ideas lately through a meditative state and by saying mantras and affirmations, so it really is the ideas channeling themselves, which is rad. I think that's one of the first things on this list has been inspiring me lately is the word rad. I started saying it as a joke and ironically, and now I just can't stop. I've also been working with the subconscious mind and hypnotherapy meditation, and that's a whole other topic in itself, but the inspiration and ideas have literally just been flowing and pouring in, so today I will share some of those with you. In the first category, scents. First, and perhaps the most random of this whole list, is my latest signature scent and learning about scents and perfumes in general. For our Christmas gift this year, my boss took us to make a custom perfume. So we took a class and we learned about all of the notes and the science behind scents. And then by the end of the class, we had made our own custom perfume. And I've been excited about this class ever since. Something that I knew already going into the class was that I like really spicy, really warm, almost masculine leaning scents. And I even told our workshop instructor that she wouldn't get me to change much from the signature scent that I had at the time, which I've been wearing since the 8th grade. So the way that the class works is that you go into this workshop and they have different essences or different oils on the table, and you get to choose from each category of essence or oil, and then you put it into an alcohol base, and that's what makes your perfume. So the scent that I created has notes of cashmere, wood smoke, tobacco, black pepper. Like I said, I like really spicy scents, and I call it Velour Bloom. So the perfume ended up being really warm and spicy, but it does have a floral scent, and I love it. And I didn't think going into this class that I liked floral scents at all. In the digital category, first in the digital category is the app Cosmos. So Cosmos markets itself as an app similar to Pinterest, but for artists, and I've been loving it, especially because Pinterest has lost her damn mind with all of these ads. Every third post is either an ad that takes you off of the site completely, which makes me unspeakably, scathingly angry, or it's literally just not what you ask for, or it's just not for me at all, and I have to type in black girl or aesthetic after everything that I search. But Cosmos gives you whatever your little niche heart desires, and it even gives you new rabbit holes to go down. So when I first started using it, I was kind of sad because it seemed so stiff and artsy-fartsy grayscale, but I think that you just have to let your algorithm get to know you and train it just like any other app or website. So you can create different clusters and save your elements and then get recommended similar ideas. It also has a visual search and a color search feature that blew my mind the first time I used it, and I love those two features. Up next in the digital category is the app YouTube, of course. My tried and true, my OG. The reason I would be an iPad baby if I were Gen Alpha. I know we're on beta now, but Alpha is the iPad babies, right? So the first channel I want to recommend is Malika is My Guardian Angel. So I've popped into her channel every now and again in the past, and I will warn you, her enunciation and speaking voice is one that I had to grow on personally, but the content I think is fantastic. So she gets into this really esoteric knowledge and blends it with scientific backing, which I really like. And she might have been the one that personally introduced me to Neville Goddard a while ago, but in the past year, his teachings have really just clicked and locked down deep and sunk into my brain, and it might be the what do you call this? The frontal lobe developing, but something in there has really clicked about his teachings, and Neville Goddard has grown on me a lot, so that's something else that you can search on YouTube. Something that I really specifically like about her channel, and something that I think that a lot of spiritual channels are missing or get wrong, quite frankly, is the fact that you can tell that she's actually reading these books, living the content, and then coming to her audience to share what she feels personally has worked in her life and what she's learned from it. when you think about spiritual leaders, especially the manifestation channels, the thing that really bothers me is that they teach that the power comes from within you, which it does, but then they have hundreds of videos with more or less the same information on the methods of how to manifest XYZ. So if your esthetician teaches you how to get clear skin, right? Follow me. And they give you the methods, they send you home with the methods to clear your skin. Do you then expect to be in their office every week? And if me stepping into your office or clicking on your video is paying you, you feel me? But this channel, even though it's spiritually backed, has book recommendations and readings and articles that you can just tell she's speaking from a lived experience point of view and from the viewpoint of her own personal from a viewpoint of a personal evolution. Next, in the digital category, I want to recommend The Cutting Room Floor, which is something I've also come back to after a while. I had been listening to her via podcast, and I guess this is why I'm so into these podcast style videos, but now I really enjoy the fact that she's actually uploading visual episodes as well. Something that I actually like is that she's almost jaded by the big bad fashion industry, and she low-key challenges it. I like that she's not a yes man in her interviews, and she allows her guests to have different points of view while she holds her own. And she's developed her own taste, and she challenges her guests at times. Also, her TikTok is a really fun little mini podcast when you need a quick little vibe while you wash the dishes. Next category, books. First in the books category is magazines. So I was the kid who was standing in the magazine section at the grocery store while her parents were shopping. So I have a heavy, and when I say heavy, I mean like physically in weight, heavy magazine collection, which I haven't kept up with in adulthood. Recently, though, Glamour and Elle magazine have been showing up to my grandma's house in my grandpa's name. And for context, my grandpa actually passed away a few years ago now, so I took this as a sign to get back to it. Getting these magazines, along with my inspiration on Cosmos, I really feel like has elevated how I want to express my photo and visual storytelling concepts, so I'm really excited, and I send my photographer like 10-page storyboard documents at a time like, hey, can we do this? Foreshadowing. Stay tuned. Next, the book Black Ivy. Another little bit of foreshadowing is that the collection that I'm working on right now is inspired by a very special man in my life. So Black Ivy has been so good for the vibes. I actually initially got it as just a coffee table, just to flip through whenever, but as I'm working on this collection, it's helping inform me with the feeling that I'm looking for in this collection. The synopsis in part reads, from the most avant-garde musicians, visual artists, and poets, to the most influential architects, philosophers, political leaders, and writers, Black Ivy explores, for the first time ever, the major role this particular style of clothing played during the period of aspiration and upheaval, and what these clothes said about the people who wore them. Next, the book 1984. This is just what I'm reading right now. I have always been a dystopian fan. I love a good dystopian, and I've been meaning to actually read a banned book for a while now, and what a better time than all of this stuff going on with social media. My jaw drops in like every second sentence, and I'm only halfway through. This book is almost funny in a really dark way, and unfortunately it really reflects times right now really well. If you have had any sort of cognizance with this TikTok ban, I really recommend reading this book right now. You're gonna laugh and maybe cry, but it's a dark humor sort of funny. Is it just me? It's just me. The synopsis in part reads, story of one man's nightmare odyssey as he pursues a forbidden love affair through a world ruled by warring states and a power structure that controls not only information, but also individual thought and memory. There are so many parts of this synopsis that I can't read because Big Brother is literally watching. Get it? Because the book and... I don't want to make the algorithm mad, that's all. Next category, moving and home decor. I recently moved, and so I'm kind of playing The Sims, moving furniture around and online shopping for decor, and just being a fake feng shui enthusiast. Like, for example, did you know that in feng shui, the foot of your bed isn't supposed to be positioned like directly in line with the door? I don't know why. Like I said, I'm a fake enthusiast. I love all of the chill little nooks in this house, and one of my favorite is this little panic room over here. I was actually watching a YouTube video and I saw this lamp in the background of this girl's apartment, so I went down this little lamp rabbit hole search and I found this lamp was actually an IKEA lamp. A running joke is how much I absolutely despise cool lighting, or overhead lighting. Actually, it makes me so angry. Like, a cool light bulb or overhead lighting makes my skin crawl. So in this neat little lamp, I have an orange light bulb. I really just fell in love with those arching lamps with a really sturdy base, but what I think really sold me on this one specifically is the corrugated shade that kind of feels like one of those floating lanterns in the way it dilutes light. You know, the what is her name? Tangled. Rapunzel. It reminds me of Rapunzel. Something that's still on the way this evening, actually, I think, as far as decor, is wall art. So I actually found this artist on TikTok. So this is a reminder for all the Americans to go pull and download all of your saved videos. But he does these really gorgeous fan arts inspired by music, and I think this is such a beautiful way to honor the albums that inspired you and welcome them into your home and have them have a place in your home, obviously. So I had to hit add to cart on this one, and I love that it's not so on the nose that somebody could walk into your house and say, "Is that Erykah Badu?" But it's just a gorgeous work, and if you know, that is a non-comprehensive list of what's been inspiring me lately. And if you have anything particularly inspiring going on right now, I would love to hear about it and chat about it in the comments. But thank you for watching and listening to me rant as always, and I'll catch you in the next one.